Joining us now is Father David Marcham. As I said, a friend from many years ago.
Yep.
Denver, 1992 maybe, we're thinking.
Yep.
And
Close enough.
We're so glad you're here, and we're so glad you could be here. We have things in common. My son's at Stonehill, so I've been watching the work up there all the time, Father.
Yeah, we're so pleased the way our renovation of our Rosary Walk is coming out, complete with a grotto, and also an addition to the front of the Father Peyton Center as well.
So people just saw a little bit about Father Peyton, but tell me about him. Who was he, and why was he known as the Rosary Priest?
So Father Patrick Peyton was the sixth of 9 children born to John and Mary Peyton up in County Mayo, out in the rural part, the farming part. And he wanted to be a priest from the time he was a young boy, but because his dad became ill, a young Patrick Peyton had to go to work. So he didn't finish high school. And because the family didn't have money, he wasn't able to get into seminary.
Oh.
And back in that day, there weren't many jobs in Ireland, so he already had 3 sisters that had come over to the U.S. And so he and his brother Tom came over to the U.S. to make $1 million. That's what they all dreamed of. But along the way, God's providence intervened. And he met the Holy Cross Fathers on a mission in Scranton, Pennsylvania at St. Peter's Cathedral, where he would later come back and do one of his first rosary rallies in the U.S.
Oh my gosh.
It's a great story. Thank you for showing the film, Pray. It's a story of a lot of ups and downs. And I think it's inspirational for people, no matter what your age is, whether you're that young person with dreams, whether you're the person who's maybe in college age and some setback because he had tuberculosis and almost didn't live, but turned to our Blessed Mother and was miraculously healed. And then lots of lessons in his life as a priesthood, whether you're a priest or married or single.
Very inspiring. You know, I remember the first time I visited Family Theater Productions, which is, you know, part of the inspiration of Father Patrick Peyton. And I remember coming up Hollywood Boulevard there and seeing that huge sign with that famous quote of Father Patrick Peyton. Could you, Jay mentioned it earlier, could you repeat that quote and tell us why that is so impactful?
So one of his 2 famous quotes is, "The family that prays together stays together."
That's it.
And one of our new folks, Colum Divine, and I were talking yesterday about why does this quote matter? And I think it matters because every one of us comes from a family. And our faith and our family are the bedrock of who we are and who we become. But as we know, not all families are going through easy times. There's many crosses that they bear. So Father Peyton wanted every family to have the benefit that he had, which was a family that put our Lord and our Blessed Mother first in their home. He referred to them as the king and queen of the home. And one of the lines that I was just telling Colum about was Father Peyton said, "With the family rosary, a house becomes a home."
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. And he said, "A home with a soul, with our Blessed Mother and our Lord."
Well, today's Friday, but tomorrow, May 31st, the Holy Cross Family Ministries is hosting a rosary and a memorial mass for Father Peyton. Can people participate in this? How do they get involved?
Absolutely. We would love to have as many people fill our chapel at the Holy Cross Center, which I know you know where it is. It's right on the campus of Stonehill. Weather permitting, we'll be praying the rosary at Father Peyton's grave at 3 p.m. and then a 4 p.m. vigil mass.
I think the weather is going to, they say it's going to break during the day.
Great.
So Father Peyton would have it no other way.
That's right.
And that's in Easton, Massachusetts.
Easton, right off of Route 24 on
It's easy to
Route
find.
138.
Oh, yeah.
138, and you'll see our brand new rosary garden that is blooming.
It's just beautiful.
Now, Father Marcham, I know you're the guy to ask this question. Father Patrick Peyton is known as Venerable now. He's on the way, please God, we hope, to Sainthood. He'll hopefully someday be declared blessed and then, please God, canonized. Can you tell us about that process and where we are in the process?
Yeah, so every candidate for sainthood has to have a group that brings the cause to the Vatican, which the part's called the Dicastery for the Causes of Saints. Used to be the congregation, but now it's Dicastery. It has to be 5 years after the person passes away, and then you have to make your case, even to open a cause. And that's the first step. If they say yes, you become a servant of God. The next step is they study your whole life, everything from childhood to your death, your ministry, your life, your personal life, and all that. and they interview people. In Father Peyton's case, they interviewed people from around the world because he traveled the world doing these rosary rallies and crusades. And then they compile all that data. In our case, it was 6,000 pages of documents that we sent off to Rome. And then they condense it down into
I was wondering what
a
those were.
2-volume set called the Positio. Last time I was here,
Oh
Jay,
my gosh.
Bishop Reed asked you to read the Latin on the front, but we won't do that today. Severian Brothers.
So this is like the executive
Hey,
summary?
you're good. You remember Severian Brothers. Oh, I could read this. I could translate it. I could read it.
This
So
is the
that's-
executive summary.
Correct.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
it contains all his documents from his baptismal certificate to his certificate of death, but all the testimonies of people, as well as his writings and how he ran the Rosary rallies and crusades. And so we were so pleased when Pope Francis declared him venerable in 2017. And now we have a possible medical miracle that is at the Vatican
Oh.
at the beginning of the review. So please pray, if it's God's will, that it'll be approved. So it takes one miracle after you're venerable to become blessed, and then after that is cleared, then another miracle to become a saint.
Well, unfortunately, we're out of time, Father. Where can people learn more and about Father Peyton and about your work?
Thanks, Jay, and Bishop Reed. They can go to fatherpeyton.org. They can come see us at the Father Peyton Center. They can see the movie Pray, and we would really love to have people come join us on Saturday.
Okay, well, I'm certainly going to visit you at some point. I'll visit you. Thanks so much for being with us, Father.
Yes,
Always
thank
a
you
pleasure.
very